I'm Howie at HDM3D. Welcome back. In this video, I'll demonstrate how I designed a mounting bracket for Black & Decker handheld vacuum. We just bought this unit to replace an older one. It's a great unit, but it didn't come with any mounting system. Why? That was really disappointing. Thankfully, I have a couple of 3D printers. 3D printing to the rescue. Let's design a mount in Autodesk Fusion 360. Hi. Okay, so now I'm down in my workshop, and we've got the Ender 3 right over here, and my Wanhao Duplicator over here. That's the one we're going to use to print the bracket for the Black & Decker that didn't come with a bracket. Let's go ahead and open up 360, Fusion 360, and we'll get to the design. I've already taken some measurements on a slot in the bottom of the vacuum, so I'll show that here. The slot is about 25 millimeters wide by 8 millimeters tall and 5 millimeters deep. And it has a recess that will allow this mounting bracket to hold on to it. I want a mounting base large enough for the hook and 2 mounting screws. So let's get started here. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this project, and let's start another one. First off, it's normal to start with a new component, and that's just so that you can keep track of new items. You may have multiple components in one build. This one's just going to have one, but it's good practice to keep it as a full component. So we'll call this B and D bracket. And we'll leave it activated. And I'll save that. B and D bracket. Okay, so now we've got our component. Let's go ahead and create a new sketch. Here you see there are multiple planes. I like to work on this particular one anyway, from the top down. So I'm going to select the top plane, and we're going to create a new sketch. We've already done that. And then we're going to add a center point rectangle. So I know about how big the rectangle is, and I want it to be 26 millimeters wide and 34 millimeters high. So I'll just kind of drag it out. That's what I think. Oops. And actually, I'll just type in the width here, which will set it 26. And tab up to the height, and we'll make that 34. And then I'll press enter. And there we have our rectangle. And this will be the base of the unit. Now let's go ahead and draw another rectangle that will be the hook portion. So we're going to go ahead and sketch another center point rectangle. And we're going to make this one 20 millimeters wide and about about 5 millimeters tall, or not about, we are going to make it 5 millimeters tall. So 20 millimeters, tab, 5 millimeters, press enter. Now we've got that rectangle, and it's constrained. We're going to want some mounting holes, so let's select a circle, and we're going to use a center diameter circle. I'm not really measuring here. I'm just going to place this circle about where I think I want it, and so we place the center point here, and we'll drag it out, and then we'll make it 5 millimeters. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and make another center diameter circle. I'm going to put this one right about here, drag it out, 5 millimeters, press enter, and now those are all saved. You can see our part starting to come together. We're going to go ahead and stop this sketch. And we're going to select this smaller rectangle here. See how it highlights? Select that one. Press E. That brings up the extrusion panel. And see, it's already highlighted here, so I can just type in, I know I want it to be 8 millimeters tall. So type in 8. And we want a whole new body, so we're going to go ahead and select this. We don't have any bodies yet, so we'll go ahead and make this the start of our new body. So we'll click OK. And now it looks like the rest of our stuff disappeared. But we go over here to sketches. Looks like they're turned on, but the one we just did is not. So there we go. Now it's on. Now we're going to select the larger rectangle. And notice the two circles are not selected. I'm just selecting the larger rectangle. I'm going to press E again for extrude. This time I know I want the base to be 3 millimeters thick. And we're going to leave that as join. That way these two bodies become one. Okay, and we'll just take a peek at that in 3D. You can kind of see our shape taking place here. Alright, so now we need to draw out this piece, this hook portion. So we're going to create a new sketch, and this time I'm going to use it, I'm going to draw the sketch on this plane, which is now higher than the origins plane. So I'll select that plane, and you see now we have sketch 2. Now I'm going to create a 2-point rectangle instead of a single center point rectangle, and we'll drag that out. This time I want the corner to be right here at the corner of this one. And you can see it gives me a little guide there, shows me that I'm on the corner. So I'll click there, and then I'll drag it out to what I want. So I know that I want it to be 20 millimeters wide and 11 millimeters tall. So go 11 millimeters and then tab, and it's at 20 millimeters. So I'll press enter. Okay, so now that hasn't changed our geometry any, but now it's added this extra area that we can now extrude. So we'll stop the sketch. And like I said, it hasn't changed the geometry, but now you can see that plane is raised above because we selected the top of that other one to begin with. Okay, so we're going to select this, and we need to hold Command on a Mac or Control on a PC to select both of these. And again, yep, you guessed it, we're going to extrude, and we're going to extrude this up to 4 millimeters. And again, we're going to leave it set at join. So we'll click OK. now actually we have our part. It's done. We could 3D print this and it would work just fine, I'm sure. But let's add a little pizzazz and make it look, professional. So first off, let's start with these two circles. So I want to make sure I'm selecting the top rings of these circles here, and again, Command on a Mac or Control to select multiple items, and here. This time we're going to do a fillet. And this way you could either drag it this way to draw those out, or you can type it in here, and I want 1.5 millimeter fillet. Oops. I don't want 50 millimeters. I want 1.5 millimeters. There, now we've got a nice chamfer there, which will help with a countersinking of the screws. I plan to use drywall screws, so that'll work just great for those. And we'll click OK. Now, as you see, those take on that profile. Makes it look a little nicer. All right, now we're going to select the four corners here, and we're going to fix those. So 1, 2, we'll rotate around. The mouse is acting funny. Here's the third one, and here's the fourth one. Okay, now you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, they're all selected. We're going to press F, and I want a 5 millimeter radius on those. Now you'll see how the corners are now rounded. So, okay. Now you see what that looks like. Starting to look a little better. Now, let's round off the corners here, or the edges here. So we'll do click here, select here. Careful not to select the wrong line. Here, 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 and here. And those, again, we're going to use a fillet. And I just want 1 millimeter to round that edge off just a little bit. Click OK. Now this hook is a little blocky, so let's go ahead and select the sides of it. Here, 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 here. Might have to zoom in to get this one. And right here. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and do them all at the same time. So I'll grab here, 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 here. And we'll do these at 1 millimeter also. There we go. Those are nice and rounded now. And let's go here. So where this slides into the hole on the vacuum, we're going to want to make this so it slides in easy, it doesn't catch. So we're going to just round this profile off here. And I know it's 4 millimeters tall, so I'll select here and here, fillet, and I'm going to make that 2 millimeters, and that will make a full rounded edge there. Click OK. Now we're starting to get somewhere. Let's go ahead and finish this off here. Let's go ahead and make this one as well 2 millimeters. Fillet, 2 millimeters. Okay. Now for some extra support, I think it'll just add a little extra strength. We're also going to add a fillet here, which will help with printing and strength. So we're going to select here, 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 and the back side, of course. Here. Remember, I'm holding down Control on a PC or Command on a Mac. I'm on a Mac. And then we'll press F for fillet. And I want these to be pretty decent, so I'm going to go ahead and make those 2 millimeters as well. Click OK. And we're looking really good, I think. Let's see. Pretty well rounded. These sketches are kind of getting in the way, so what we can do is just turn those off. And you can kind of see what's going on here. I'll zoom out just a little bit here. There you get a good view of the part. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. This kind of looks boring, so this will be kind of cool. We're going to change the appearance. So if you right click on the component and go up here to appearance, this dialog will pop up. Let's choose plastic because that's what we're going to be using. Opaque. And I'm going to print in blue. So I'm just going to drag the blue right on top of it. There you go. We can close the appearances. And that's the job. That's done. It looks great. Now the color here we just added is not going to affect the print whatsoever. It's just for aesthetics. You could also take a picture. So we could go over here to instead of model, we go to render. And now we're in the render workspace, and you can make kind of change it around however you want the picture to look. Then you select capture image, and it'll ask you what kind. I'm not going to do it. We don't need an image, but there you go. You can have an image of it if you like. Let's go back to the model workspace, and I think we're ready to print this thing. So let's go ahead and make 3D print. And you can send directly to print utility, but I'm just going to save it as a file. So right now it won't let me select OK. That's because we haven't selected a part. So select the component, the full component. You see I have preview mesh, so it meshes this, but it doesn't affect the print. That's just how it draws the triangles. Anyway, so we'll select OK. We're going to go ahead and save it as B&D bracket. You can see I've already saved one, so I might get angry here, but no, it should be fine. So we'll click save, and that saved it as an STL. So now I'm going to open it in Simplify 3D and slice it. That way, after slicing, it's turned into G-code, of course, and we can send it to our printer. In Simplify 3D, I used 4 top layers, 4 bottom layers, 3 perimeters, and 30% infill. And I didn't need supports at all, even though this has this overhang. The printer handles this just fine. As long as you're tuned in pretty good, your printer should be able to handle that just fine. And that's it. So after slicing, I sent the G-code to my Wanhao Duplicator with Octoprint, and after 34 minutes, the part printed perfectly. It works great. And according to my settings in Simplify 3D, it only cost me 13 cents. I don't know why Black & Decker couldn't have included that. Maybe they will someday. maybe my box just didn't have one. Well, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and comment below. Let me know if you'd like me to make more of these videos, if there's a specific thing you'd like to see me design. I really like doing it, so any help from you guys would be great. I also really want to thank you guys for watching and subscribing. It really means a lot to me, and I feel like I'm helping the community, 3D community. It's just a great thing. I think everything should be 3D printed. Anyway, you can check out some of my other videos here. And until next time, let's 3D print everything.